Wikipedia is a free-access, free-content internet encyclopedia, supported and hosted by the non-profit Wikimedia Foundation. Those who can access the site can edit most of its articles. Wikipedia is ranked among the 10 most popular websites, and constitutes the Internet's largest and most popular general reference work. Jimmy Wales and Larry Sanger launched Wikipedia on January 15, 2001. Sanger coined its name, a portmanteau of wiki and encyclopedia. Initially only in English, Wikipedia quickly became multilingual as it developed similar versions in other languages, which differ in content and in editing practices. The English Wikipedia is now one of 291 Wikipedia editions and is the largest with 5,043,475 articles. There is a grand total, including all Wikipedias, of over 37 million articles in over 250 different languages. As of February 2014, it had 18 billion page views and nearly 500 million unique visitors each month. A peer review of 42 science articles found in both Encyclopaedia Britannica and Wikipedia was published in Nature in 2005, and found that Wikipedia's level of accuracy approached Encyclopaedia Britannica's. Criticisms of Wikipedia include claims that it exhibits systemic bias, presents a mixture of truths, half-truths, and some falsehoods, and that in controversial topics it is subject to manipulation and spin. History. Other collaborative online encyclopedias were attempted before Wikipedia, but none were so successful. Wikipedia began as a complementary project for Nupedia, a free online English-language encyclopedia project whose articles were written by experts and reviewed under a formal process. Nupedia was founded on March 9, 2000, under the ownership of Bomish, a web portal company. Its main figures were the Bomish CEO Jimmy Wales and Larry Sanger, editor-in-chief for Nupedia and later Wikipedia. Nupedia was licensed initially under its own Nupedia Open Content license, switching to the new Free Documentation license before Wikipedia's founding at the urging of Richard Stallman. Sanger and Wales founded Wikipedia. While Wales is credited with defining the goal of making a publicly editable encyclopedia, Sanger is credited with the strategy of using a wiki to reach that goal. On January 10, 2001, Sanger proposed on the Nupedia mailing list to create a wiki as a feeder project for Nupedia. Wikipedia was formally launched on January 15, 2001, as a single English-language edition at www.wikipedia.com, and announced by Sanger on the Nupedia mailing list. Wikipedia's policy of neutral point of view was codified in its first months. Otherwise, there were relatively few rules initially, and Wikipedia operated independently of Nupedia. Originally, Bomish intended to make Wikipedia a business for profit. Wikipedia gained early contributors from Nupedia, Slashdot postings, and web search engine indexing. By August 8, 2001, Wikipedia had over 8,000 articles. On September 25, 2001, Wikipedia had over 13,000 articles. And by the end of 2001 it had grown to approximately 20,000 articles and 18 language editions. It had reached 26 language editions by late 2002, 46 by the end of 2003, and 161 by the final days of 2004. Nupedia and Wikipedia coexisted until the former's servers were taken down permanently in 2003, and its text was incorporated into Wikipedia. English Wikipedia passed the mark of 2 million articles on September 9, 2007, making it the largest encyclopedia ever assembled, surpassing even the 1408 Yongle Encyclopedia, which had held the record for almost 600 years. citing fears of commercial advertising and lack of control in Wikipedia. Users of the Spanish Wikipedia forked from Wikipedia to create the Enciclopedia Libre in February 2002. These moves encouraged Wales to announce that Wikipedia would not display advertisements, and to change Wikipedia's domain from wikipedia.com to wikipedia.org. Though the English Wikipedia reached 3 million articles in August 2009, the growth of the edition, in terms of the numbers of articles and of contributors, appears to have peaked around early 2007. Around 1,800 articles were added daily to the encyclopedia in 2006. By 2013, that average was roughly 800. A team at the Palo Alto Research Center attributed this slowing of growth to the project's increasing exclusivity and resistance to change. Others suggest that the growth is flattening naturally because articles that could be called low-hanging fruit, topics that clearly merit an article, have already been created and built up extensively. In November 2009, a researcher at the Rey Juan Carlos University in Madrid found that the English Wikipedia had lost 49,000 editors during the first 3 months of 2009. In comparison, the project lost only 4,900 editors during the same period in 2008. The Wall Street Journal cited the array of rules applied to editing and disputes related to such content among the reasons for this trend. Wales disputed these claims in 2009, denying the decline and questioning the methodology of the study. 2 years later, Wales acknowledged the presence of a slight decline, noting a decrease from a little more than 36,000 writers in June 2010 to 35,800 in June 2011. In the same interview, Wales also claimed the number of editors was stable and sustainable, a claim which was questioned by MIT's Technology Review in a 2013 article titled The Decline of Wikipedia. In July 2012, The Atlantic reported that the number of administrators is also in decline. In the November 25, 2013 issue of New York Magazine, Catherine Ward stated, Wikipedia, the sixth most used website, is facing an internal crisis. In 2013, MIT's Technology Review revealed that since 2007, the site has lost a third of the volunteer editors who update and correct the online encyclopedia's millions of pages, and those still there have focused increasingly on minutiae. In January 2007, Wikipedia entered for the first time the top 10 list of the most popular websites in the United States, according to Comscore Networks. With 42.9 million unique visitors, Wikipedia was ranked number 9, surpassing the New York Times and Apple. This marked a significant increase over January 2006, when the rank was number 33, with Wikipedia receiving around 18.3 million unique visitors. As of March 2015 update, Wikipedia has ranked 6 among websites in terms of popularity according to Alexa Internet. In 2014, it received 8 billion page views every month. On February 9, 2014, The New York Times reported that Wikipedia has 18 billion page views and nearly 500 million unique visitors a month. According to the ratings firm Comscore, on January 18, 2012, the English Wikipedia participated in a series of coordinated protests against 2 proposed laws in the United States Congress, the Stop Online Piracy Act and the Protect IP Act, by blacking out its pages for 24 hours. More than 162 million people viewed the blackout explanation page that temporarily replaced Wikipedia content. Loveland and Regal argue that, in process, Wikipedia follows a long tradition of historical encyclopedias that have accumulated improvements piecemeal through stigmergic accumulation. On January 20, 2014, Subodh Varma reporting for The Economic Times indicated that not only had Wikipedia growth flattened but that it has lost nearly 10% of its page views last year. That's a decline of about 2 billion between December 2012 and December 2013. Its most popular versions are leading the slide. Page views of the English Wikipedia declined by 12%. Those of German versions slid by 17% and the Japanese version lost 9%. Varma added that, while Wikipedia's managers think that this could be due to errors in counting, other experts feel that Google's Knowledge Graphs project launched last year may be gobbling up Wikipedia users. When contacted on this matter, Clay Shirky, associate professor at New York University and fellow at Harvard's Berkman Center for Internet and Security, indicated that he suspected much of the page view decline was due to knowledge graphs, stating, "If you can get your question answered from the search page, you don't need to click any further." Openness. Unlike traditional encyclopedias, Wikipedia follows the procrastination principle regarding the security of its content. It started almost entirely open. Anyone could create articles, and any Wikipedia article could be edited by any reader, even those who did not have a Wikipedia account. Modifications to all articles would be published immediately. As a result, any article could contain inaccuracies such as errors, ideological biases, and nonsensical or irrelevant text. Restrictions over time. The English Wikipedia and some other Wikipedias gradually have restricted modifications. For example, in the English Wikipedia and some other language editions, only registered users may create a new article. A frequently vandalized article can be semi-protected, meaning that only certain editors are able to modify it. A particularly contentious article may be locked so that only administrators are able to make changes. In certain cases, all editors are allowed to submit modifications, but review is required for some editors, depending on certain conditions. For example, the German Wikipedia maintains stable versions of articles, which have passed certain reviews. Following protracted trials and community discussion, the English Wikipedia introduced the Pending Changes system in December 2012. Under this system, new users' edits to certain controversial or vandalism-prone articles are subject to review from an established Wikipedia editor before publication. Review of changes. Although changes are not systematically reviewed, the software that powers Wikipedia provides certain tools allowing anyone to review changes made by others. The history page of each article links to each revision. On most articles, anyone can undo others' changes by clicking a link on the article's history page. Anyone can view the latest changes to articles, and anyone may maintain a watch list of articles that interest them so they can be notified of any changes. New Pages Patrol is a process whereby newly created articles are checked for obvious problems. In 2003, economics PhD student Andrea Cifalilli argued that the low transaction costs of participating in a wiki create a catalyst for collaborative development, and that features such as allowing easy access to past versions of a page favor creative construction over creative destruction. Vandalism. Any edit that changes content in a way that deliberately compromises the integrity of Wikipedia is considered vandalism. The most common and obvious types of vandalism include insertion of obscenities and crude humor. Vandalism can also include advertising language and other types of spam. Sometimes editors commit vandalism by removing information or entirely blanking a given page. Less common types of vandalism, such as the deliberate addition of plausible but false information to an article, can be more difficult to detect. Vandals can introduce irrelevant formatting, modify page semantics such as the page's title or categorization, manipulate the underlying code of an article, or use images disruptively. Obvious vandalism is generally easy to remove from wiki articles. The median time to detect and fix vandalism is a few minutes. However, some vandalism takes much longer to repair. In the Wikipedia Sigenthaler biography incident, An anonymous editor introduced false information into the biography of American political figure John Seigenthaler in May 2005. Seigenthaler was falsely presented as a suspect in the assassination of John F. Kennedy. The article remained uncorrected for 4 months. Seigenthaler, the founding editorial director of USA Today and founder of the Freedom Forum First Amendment Center at Vanderbilt University, called Wikipedia co-founder Jimmy Wales and asked whether he had any way of knowing who contributed the misinformation. Wales replied that he did not, although the perpetrator was eventually traced. After the incident, Seigenthaler described Wikipedia as a flawed and irresponsible research tool. Policies and laws. See also Wikipedia. 5 pillars. Content in Wikipedia is subject to the laws of the United States and of the U.S. state of Virginia, where the majority of Wikipedia's servers are located. Beyond legal matters, the editorial principles of Wikipedia are embodied in their 5 pillars, and in numerous policies and guidelines intended to appropriately shape content. Even these rules are stored in wiki form, and Wikipedia editors write and revise the website's policies and guidelines. Editors can enforce these rules by deleting or modifying non-compliant material. Originally, rules on the non-English editions of Wikipedia were based on a translation of the rules for the English Wikipedia. They have since diverged to some extent. Content policies and guidelines according to the rules on the English Wikipedia. Each entry in Wikipedia must be about a topic that is encyclopedic and is not a dictionary entry or dictionary-like. A topic should also meet Wikipedia's standards of notability, which generally means that the topic must have been covered in mainstream media or major academic journal sources that are independent of the article's subject. Further, Wikipedia intends to convey only knowledge that is already established and recognized. It must not present original research. A claim that is likely to be challenged requires a reference to a reliable source. Among Wikipedia editors, this is often phrased as verifiability, not truth, to express the idea that the readers, not the encyclopedia, are ultimately responsible for checking the truthfulness of the articles and making their own interpretations. This can at times lead to the removal of information that is valid. Finally, Wikipedia must not take sides. All opinions and viewpoints, if attributable to external sources, must enjoy an appropriate share of coverage within an article. This is known as neutral point of view. Governance. Wikipedia's initial anarchy integrated democratic and hierarchical elements over time. An article is not considered to be owned by its creator or any other editor and is not vetted by any recognized authority. Wikipedia's contributors avoid a tragedy of the commons by internalizing benefits. They do this by experiencing flow and identifying with and gaining status in the Wikipedia community. Administrators, editors in good standing in the community can run for one of many levels of volunteer stewardship. This begins with administrator, privileged users who can delete pages, prevent articles from being changed in case of vandalism or editorial disputes, and try to prevent certain persons from editing. Despite the name, administrators are not supposed to enjoy any special privilege in decision-making. Instead, their powers are mostly limited to making edits that have project-wide effects and thus are allowed to ordinary editors, and to implement restrictions intended to prevent certain persons from making disruptive edits. Fewer editors become administrators than in the years past, in part because the process of vetting potential Wikipedia administrators has become more rigorous. Bureaucrats name new administrators solely upon the recommendations from the community. Dispute resolution. Wikipedians may dispute, for example by repeatedly making opposite changes to an article. Over time, Wikipedia has developed documentation for editors about dispute resolution. In order to determine community consensus, editors can raise issues at the village pump, or initiate a request for comment. Arbitration committee. The arbitration committee presides over the ultimate dispute resolution process. Although disputes usually arise from a disagreement between two opposing views on how an article should read, the arbitration committee explicitly refuses to directly rule on the specific view that should be adopted. Statistical analyses suggest that the committee ignores the content of disputes and rather focuses on the way disputes are conducted, functioning not so much to resolve disputes and make peace between conflicting editors, but to weed out problematic editors while allowing potentially productive editors back in to participate. Therefore, the committee does not dictate the content of articles, although it sometimes condemns content changes when it deems the new content violates Wikipedia policies. Its remedies include cautions and probations and banning editors from articles, subject matters or Wikipedia. Complete bans from Wikipedia are generally limited to instances of impersonation and antisocial behavior, when conduct is not impersonation or antisocial, but rather anti-consensus or in violation of editing policies. Remedies tend to be limited to warnings,